down the legendary Drill Pub, 12 p.m. 4 p.m. is the big meet in Liverpool Street. There's another meet to be coming. Follow socials. Get ready for a massive night at Halley Pally. Support all the fighters, and let's get behind Johnny Fisher. Bosh!
It's almost like you're made for promotion. Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast, here at the weigh-in today as we look forward to tomorrow night. Daniel Jacobs, John Ryder, joined by Eddie Hearn. How are we, Ed?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Looking forward to tomorrow. It's our first UK show of 2022. It's going to be a cracker, massive crowd, great venue, and I think we've got some great fights as well.
What was said between Daniel Jacobs and John Ryder up there? It went on a bit longer than I expected it to.
I think John was sort of giving him the stare, and Danny just sort of smiled and went, yeah. And John said, please don't take me lightly. Please come with everything. And he went, I wouldn't be in your backyard if I weren't going to do that. So he said, good, because I'm ready. And it was nice. It was nice. I think you just got two guys that are desperate to win. It's an honour to bring Danny Jacobs over here. You know, I can't remember the last time we brought an American name like Danny Jacobs over at this stage in his career. Two-time world champion, huge star in America. And I'm delighted for John Ryder to get this opportunity just a few miles from where he lives. It's a massive task for him because I think Danny Jacobs is in great condition. I think he's really up for it, but it's going to be a great fight.
Just in terms of what we might get in the ring, I just want sort of your opinion on what we might see, because on paper it's a great fight, but I've seen such mixed opinions. Some people saying it has the potential to be a stinker, but potential to be a banger. So just kind of what you expect from tomorrow.
I think all fights do when you have two guys that, you know, can box nicely as well. Daniel Jacobs boxes very well off the back foot, and John Ryder likes to get up close. If John Ryder doesn't get up close in this fight, it's going to be a long, long night for him. So he has to get up close. He has to let his hands go. And I think Danny Jacobs will as well. I think Danny Jacobs, after the Rosado fight, knows that he can't really afford not just a bad performance, but just a performance that isn't exciting. And I think he believes he's levels above John Ryder. And I think with that in mind, I think he'll be prepared to let his hands go.
Obviously, we saw the sort of Canelo news, and I know Reynoso put a statement out about the deals from PBC and yourself. I know they'll be focusing on tomorrow night, but is the Canelo carrot kind of there again for the winner this year? Yeah,
I think, for John Ryder, look, Canelo always talks about fighting in the UK, and if John Ryder got a big statement win against Danny Jacobs, he'd put his name in the hat for that, to be honest with you. But, I think Canelo Alvarez is not looking at necessarily the winner of this fight. I'm sure he'll be interested in the fight because he knows both guys, but I think this is more about what Canelo might leave behind at 168. If he moves and starts fighting at 175, will this super championship vacate later on in the year? We'll have to see. So, we saw Eddie Reynoso's comments. As I said in the interviews yesterday, no deal reached with us. Everyone's put their proposals in. I guess they'll make their decision in due course.
There's a quick word on Johnny Fisher. Obviously, a shadow of what we'll see tomorrow night with the atmosphere today. But the Fisher family are the best promoters in boxing at the moment.
I mean, they're it's really good when you've got genuine people. I said in an interview over there, it's amazing how humble Johnny Fisher is. He's in a golden position. He's making a huge amount of money for this stage in his career. He's got probably the biggest support in British boxing, but his head is so firmly screwed on. And I think that's why people like him. His dad couldn't be a nicer fella. I mean, it's just the whole family, lovely people. And I just think people like the story. They just like the journey. And people like good people. And from around there, Romford, Brentwood, I'm from the area. I know what people are like. If they back someone, the whole town will back someone. And that's what's happened in Romford. And it's branched out to Brentwood, to Hornchurch, to Dagenham, to London, to South London. And also down in Exeter, don't forget. I mean, I would think there's 400 or 500 coming up from Exeter, where he was at university. So amazing for the show. It helps us reach around 7,000 tomorrow night. And the atmosphere is going to be brilliant. So I can't wait. And by the way, Johnny Fisher's got a tough fight. This guy is not a walkover. He went 10 rounds with Oscar Rivas. He's incredibly durable. He's going to stand there. He's going to let his hands go. He's going to stick in there as well. And, I said up there as well, this isn't just about the level of Johnny Fisher. This is about handling and dealing with all the other stuff that comes with it. The ticket sales, the support, the noise, the expectation. And I'm glad John's got a really good head on his shoulders because it's not easy. It's not easy being a young heavyweight prospect, and it's definitely not easy having this kind of fan base that the pressure's on, the noise is on. How can you not let that nervous energy get to you? So just got to stay calm, and Mark Tibbs will be important in that tomorrow.
Really looking forward to tomorrow night. Ed, just an update on where we are with Usyk and Anthony Joshua, the rematch. Obviously, with such a focus on the whole Dillian White Tyson Fury situation, kind of not that the talk's gone quiet, but it's kind of taken second fiddle for the last couple of weeks. Just sort of where we are.
Just really looking at potential sites. Got meetings next week around the world to look at where that fight might take place. I'd love it to take place in London. I think it will take place in May, and we'll speak to Alex Krasuk and get that nailed on, and hopefully get it announced before the end of the month.
What sort of stuff has been said between you and Alex and Usyk's team? Because obviously they were keen for the Tyson Fury fight. Now that hasn't landed, I mean, are they still as keen to just put the Joshua stuff to bed?
To be honest, the situation was Usyk preferred the AJ fight. Really, he was contracted to that. That's what he thought. Look, I'll do that, then I'll look to fight someone else if I win that fight. AJ preferred the Usyk fight, but we got approached. A plan might have made sense, and everyone was willing to discuss that plan. Then when it fell through, it was just a conversation with me and Alex like 10 days ago to say, right, come on then, let's get our one moving. It was like, yeah, cool. We've got a great relationship with Alex, Aegis. They're great to work with, easy to work with. We all know what we got to do. Now we just got, it's not like we got to do a deal. Deal's done. We've just got to decide where it's going to take place, and that's the plan over the next week or so.
Could it potentially be within sort of the same vicinity, a couple of weeks after Dillian and Tyson?
April 23, if that fight happens between Fury and White, is rumoured. Then you got Canelo will box May 7th, so you'd stay away with that. So May 14th, May 21st, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't think it'll be too far away.
Where are we at with Anthony Joshua's television deal as well?
I got asked that earlier as well. Nothing to report on that yet. Obviously, he's had a lot of approaches. We've been going through them with Freddie Cunningham and 258, and he'll look at all those opportunities and make a decision, obviously, before the fight. But Usyk is involved with this show and promotion as well, so we'll talk to them, and I guess you'll get an announcement when the fight is confirmed.
As you stand here now, what sort of is Joshua given any incentives as to perhaps what he prefers at this moment in time?
With what respect?
Sort of a television deal.
No, he's focused on his boxing. I don't even think there's really been many conversations with Anthony about the TV deal yet, because he's just driven to improve in the gym and driven to beat Alexander Usyk. So, myself and Freddie and Frank, been going through the offers coming in, and, we'll propose those and put those forward to AJ. He's the boss. He'll make the decision. So, be an input from Matchroom and obviously 258, his company, and then AJ will review it all when the time is right and make a call.
Ed, I just want your reaction to sort of the Twitter reaction to Conor Benn and Chris Van Heerden last night. I know a lot of people, perhaps out of the opponents listed, were least happy with Chris Van Heerden in comparison to Maurice Hooker and Adrian Broner. Just your response to people's response, I suppose.
I think it's a really good fight. It's a southpaw. Van Heerden's very tough. By the way, Van Heerden hasn't boxed mainly because of COVID, and obviously had a family bereavement. But you do know that his last fight was against Jaron Ennis, right? I mean, he's mental. So his last fight, he headlined on Showtime against Jaron Ennis. He hasn't been injured. He's not, that fight went, 2 rounds? I think it was a clash of heads. So it was okay for him to headline on Showtime against Jaron Ennis in his last fight, but it's not okay for him to fight Conor Benn. Absolutely mental. This is a tough man. As I said, southpaw, a good welterweight. It's a very tough fight, and it's not done yet anyway. We've not announced that fight. He's accepted the fight, should he get it. There's other people it's with, but he certainly looks like a front runner at the moment.
So do you think that's how it should be viewed then? If he's all right for Jaron Ennis' step up, he's all right for Conor Benn's step up?
Does that not make sense? I mean, and by the way, it wasn't a Jaron Ennis step up. Jaron Ennis don't really need step ups. Jaron Ennis went Chris Van Heerden, then I think he went the Russian, can't remember his name, Lipinets. So that's kind of the route of Conor Benn. Conor Benn's 2 or 3 fights behind Ennis and Ortiz. So, like I said, it's okay for Jaron Ennis. Probably, maybe the best welterweight in the world right now, Jaron Ennis. But not for little old Conor Benn with no amateur experience and no pedigree. So, we'll see.
Ed, David Benavidez said that he's interested in the on-trade fight. We stood there after his fight in Manchester, New Hampshire, and we said that it has to be Charlo next. It has to be Charlo. But I know there's been a talk of the whole Zach Parker situation. David Benavidez, maybe? We
love the Benavidez fight, and the route was to fight Parker and then fight Benavidez. We'd be willing to go straight into the Benavidez fight now. So if he likes that fight, happy to discuss it and would love to get that made.
Just finally on George Kambosos, I can see his frustration through social media.
I love George Kambosos. I don't want to pick holes in what he's saying, but someone's not telling George Kambosos the truth, because the Zone are very, very happy for Kambosos against Haney. They're also very, very happy for Kambosos against Ryan Garcia. He's a big draw. We've already spoke to DAZN. There's a deal in place to try and make this happen. We have made a deal suggestion in writing to Lou DiBella and George Kambosos' team. We've not received anything in writing. Devin Haney is ready to go. And I hope George sees this email, because I love George and I love Jim and I love the team. Devin Haney is ready to get on a plane and make the undisputed fight. There's no money issues, there's no vaccine issues, there's nothing. He will take the fight. Don't worry about people that might take the fight in August or September or might even not be fighting by then. Make the undisputed fight. You know, I always say this, someone's telling him things that aren't right. And it baffles us, because Bill Haney messaged me and goes, what's he on about? You know, we're speaking to DAZN, they like the fight. We're ready to go. The money's, there. It's not an issue. So let's make the fight.
Who could be keeping it from Georgia? Like, what's he not being told?
I don't know, but it's just weird. It's like, I understand Ryan Garcia is a big draw, and maybe DAZN prefer that fight. But trust me, DAZN have already made the offer for the Haney fight and a structure to make that fight work. And Devin's ready to get on a plane. So you want to be undisputed, take the fight. So don't worry about Devin ducking. I mean, Devin would never duck anyone. He'd fight them all. So hopefully, like I said, George sees this. Let's get it made. He deserves his big moment. George is the guy at 135 right now. That's why Devin is prepared to take the risk, take the opportunity and fly to Australia for the fight.
Just finally on this, if Lomachenko is to take the fight with George Kambosos in Australia or wherever, where does that sort of leave Devin Haney?
Well, he could fight Lomachenko, but the undisputed fight will overrule that fight. So really, I think his options are fight Lomachenko or fight Devin Haney for the undisputed. See what he does.